I like empty rooms. As a kid, I saw a book with pictures of empty rooms in Japan at my parents' house. Wood and stone, lots of space.
We're frauds.
It's France Olympics. He decides, I'll just break into my mate's house and go make a sandwich.
Like you're moving like you're like a dancer. You look at the cha-cha-cha. Welcome back to another week of the Uneducated Nuffies. Week 9. What a week of sport we've had. We've had a fair bit of sport. Even though there's been no AFL, we've had a very good week. My name's Ethan Stone. I'm with Jonty Perry. Jonty, how was your weekend?
Oh, mine was good. I had a quiet one, but I'm still sick. So, from last week, I was sick. I'm still sick. So, yesterday I was spending the whole day bedridden, and then we played basketball, and then I'm just bedridden again. So, funny day. Happy birthday, Stone.
Thank you. Yes, it is my birthday.
Happy 27th.
I'm not that old.
No,
I know my hairline says it. It's not that bad.
Well, if your hairline was the thing for it, it'd be like 45.
Okay, that's unfair. I'm 22. Let a man be. I deserve a bit more respect for my age.
Yeah.
Anyway, how was your birthday?
It was good. We went out for drinks with a fair few of us on Saturday night. We had a interesting night to say the least. Few bars, few drinks, a lot of German beers, a lot of stolen stuff. Shenanigans occurred.
Are you admitting to a crime on camera?
No, I'm not. There were certain people who did steal.
He didn't do it.
Okay.
I didn't do it. There's some other people who stole. Okay, I say that. But yeah, we fair few bars, finished up late, and then yesterday I literally sat on the couch and did nothing. I haven't been that hungover in a while. The last time I was that hungover was this time last year, and we know how that went.
That was awful. That was awful.
That was the worst, because at least we didn't walk at the door at 8:30 this year.
Good job.
I'm very proud of myself. I at least got some sleep. But yes, I enjoyed that. Basketball last night was fun. We've created our own basketball team. We had our first game last night. We lost by 6 points. About that. We kept it close, but a bit short. Doesn't help when we have people who don't know how to shoot the ball.
Okay.
Someone that starts with P and ends with Y.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a good week. Very good and fun. And there's still a lot to go on this week. It's been a lot of cool stuff happening.
Now let's head over to trade news and AFL.
Absolutely, the Crows were right in front of me.
We're going to engage with our mind.
Well, do you think they didn't come to play? Do you think they sat in their cars waiting for the game to start and go out there?
The silly season is here. The trade period is here. There's been a lot to talk about so far.
Yes.
It's much more interesting than last year.
It's not hard to beat.
Yeah, it was just one thing last year, really.
What? We did heaps.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's pretty much the only thing that happened. This year, though, has been a really interesting start. Now, the biggest news coming out of last week was that Clayton Oliver met up with Geelong, went down, had a meeting with both the club and two players. Reece Stanley being one of them is funny enough.
I think the more funny bit of that was that not just met with Reece Stanley and I think Joel Selwood as well.
No, it was Tom Stewart. They met on the Ferris wheel in Geelong. Yeah.
They went down to the Ferris wheel and did a ride on the Ferris wheel to have their chat.
Good way to introduce someone to Geelong life, because
What the fuck else do you do in Geelong?
Lammies. Go to farm. Go to be Jeremy or Tom.
Go to the deck.
No, not on the deck.
I actually went past the deck last week. It was a sight to behold.
Oh God.
But no, there's some GMHBA is actually not a bad stadium.
Yeah, but people that go there.
Oh, don't remind me. I'm going to go off track here, but the game, I went to the AFLW game, not last week, the week before, and there's this one 10-year-old girl, the whole game, Geelong were losing the whole game, and we're just yelling Geelong the whole time at the loudest voice. I had to move. I had enough. They're just ferals down there.
Well, let's see. So, Clayton Oliver has a meeting, goes to Melbourne. Look, I want to go to Geelong. Now, Melbourne were like, okay, go get him to give you a trade then. Then Geelong opened up their wallet and realised, oh, wait a minute, we don't have enough. And then, first day of trade period, Andrew Mackey rules out the fact of going for Clayton Oliver. Says they can't afford it. What a waste of time.
Who would have thought that when you're going for Bailey Smith, who's probably their number one target, who's been their number one target since last year almost. You picked up Jack Martin, who will want a decent contract, considering what he was on at Carlton.
Yeah, but
He'll be on at least 400,000.
I would say almost less, seeing he hasn't played enough football.
He played like 3 games this year.
Yeah.
He'll still get some decent coin. And who else? I was looking at someone else, weren't they? Or am I mistaking something?
I'm trying to... No, I can't say off the top of my head.
But yeah, so I think, especially with Bailey Smith being that big marquee player, who's probably... He would be getting, 800, 900,000 a year?
Yeah,
because at the moment,
you'll be thinking injury probably would take off about 100k.
Yeah, and before injury, he would have been looking at that $1 million market.
And before a certain saga.
Yes, who would have thought?
I miss 2021 Bailey Smith.
Great photo. But yeah, I think they're just going to be just short, especially considering they've got Dangerfield, who's still on a fair bit of coin. They got Jeremy Cameron, who is on $1 million, I believe.
Yeah, he would be.
He would be one.
Close to $1 million.
You can't have 5-6 players on $1 million at the club, because that's you're breaking rules, and that's coming from a Carlton supporter. But if they pull it off, I still think there needs to be some investigations here, because if you can get Bailey Smith and Clayton Oliver in the same window, it's phenomenal.
Well, they can't.
They can't, but it'd be phenomenal if they could.
Also sidetrack. Have you seen the Tanner Bruin stuff?
Yes.
No.
So last night, Channel 7's like, oh, Tanner Bruin's been young Geelong player's been called into police station for investigation.
Yes.
And then they go in and like, oh yeah, he's been called in to us to talk about a sexual assault case. Just to answer some questions.
Yeah.
Wasn't him. He's allowed to go. And then they made it sound the whole time like he was guilty.
Yeah, it sounded like he was the
Yeah.
perpetrator.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's channel. No.
Because it's the media.
It's the media.
Corporations. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Geelong, funny area right now. But no way Clayton Oliver's going to be able to get across. Melbourne next year is going to be full of people that basically just chained to the club.
Well, you look at the president of Melbourne, the new CEO. I can't remember his name exactly. He came out saying that he's not positive him, saying next year we're going to fix up the mistakes this year. But look, they said that last year and had the issues this year. If they re-promise that to their fans again and it backfires, surely that's not. Well, it's got to be the end of it, because you can't keep rinse and repeating and falling short of a broken promise.
Well, I think number one thing is that their forward line's always been their issue. They've always talked about it. They've always like, oh my God, we need to fix this. But they won't be able to, because they don't have anything for it. Unless they go out and recruit massively, which no one wants to go to Melbourne right now. If Dan Houston, who you have the assets to go trade for, says, I don't want to even go to Melbourne, that should say enough about where Melbourne is at a club.
Go for Jake Stringer.
Oh,
No.
yes.
Yeah, actually,
yes.
that'd be funny.
Actually, that's not that bad.
For Melbourne, that's actually a good thing.
It
That's
gives
a
it
win
a...
for both teams.
Yeah, but no, what would you get in return for Essendon?
I don't care. Get him out.
Get rid of him for free. But look, that's one of the big news, but it's not the biggest news. I think everyone's looking, this trade period's around one person mainly and one person only, and it's the Dan Houston trade. And it is really heating up this week as Collingwood have come into the big boys table and put up a massive offer. Obviously looking to give a first round pick and other conversation. And now obviously with Joe Richards nominating, he wants to go to Port. This really puts Collingwood in a very favourable position to go after Houston.
It probably just means we don't have to give up another pick. It probably just means a first round pick. And with the way we're speaking about it right now, McGuan comes in next year, Nick McGuan's son. He won't be a first round pick, but he'll probably be an early second. And he's a winger, which is exactly what we need. So they're not really that worried about next year's picks. We don't have this year's pick, obviously, for the Lockie Schultz trade. But the fact that we can only have to give up a pick in Richards, and that pick will likely come from Gold Coast, due to the fact that Gold Coast decided that they're going to trade with us for John Noble, and the pick. It's probably not going to be, let's be honest, it's not going to be John Noble straight up for pick 13.
It can't be.
It can't be. he's
Gold Coast.
it is Gold Coast, but they'll need it for the Daniel Rioli trade.
I still don't trust them.
But yeah, it's
I was about to say that wouldn't they prioritise that first
Yes.
round pick for Rioli because
You'd imagine so.
he's at the better. Not to be rude on to John Noble, he's a good footballer, but he's not as good as Daniel Rioli.
oh well, John Noble. No, for a fact, from watching him, no. He's definitely worth like a high second round pick. But if Neil Bullen's 28, then I would say John Noble's 28 too.
Yeah.
Neil Bullen is a very serviceable player.
Good
John
rollers.
Noble, yeah,
Good rollers.
John Noble was saying. But yeah, Gold Coast on the table for pick 13. Pick 13 and Richards for Houston probably works out.
That would work, but that pick 13 is in high demand because Carlton are still looking to go after pick 13 as well. Because obviously we made that first Farskell trade to Port Adelaide, what I think was a horrendous trade offer. What are we thinking? Especially for a guy like Houston to give us what we could give him a first rounder next year and Matt Owies. I don't even think either of those two are worth anything near.
But also, why would this is just a random first pick just randomly thrown around as well? Like some other team gets a first round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like we have the first round pick, we got pick 12, but obviously we're holding on to that for the Camporelli twins. What I think is fair enough. They are great talent, young players, but you got to look at what we need and what we don't need. We need to try and find another way. And then if we can somehow get pick 13, because I think we were going to offer a first rounder next year and a second rounder next year for pick 13 this year, is what I heard was on the table.
I don't see Gold Coast are very much this year. They have so many deals going on, like Lukosius, like Rioli. They'll have a few more with Noble as well. I think they're just trying to make it easier for themselves because they're going to be so busy throughout this off season. And so I think when Carlton offered that, as well as the fact it's a next year pick, they're probably looking more towards a player because they're in that period where they want to try and go for more experience. I just don't think they want to go for picks.
No, they won't. And I think it's going to hurt us. I think the only way Carlton will get Houston is if we give that pick 12 up. Well, I think if it comes down to it and there hasn't been a really obvious team that Houston's gone for, we could do it, but I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet.
It's going to go down to the last day, let's be honest.
And then you also forget that you got one more horse in the race who... I know we laugh, but he's met up with North.
Yeah.
Like Clarkson.
Yeah.
Jimmy was talking about this before. They're building the Avengers here down in Narn Street.
Oh, what? Jack Darling,
Jack Darling, Luke Parker, and then Dan Houston.
Hey, they're not going to win 3 games next year. They're going to win 5.
Oh, good job, guys. No, North aren't going to get him. And the main reason is because they want to remain competitive, Dan Houston, like in his camp. Let's be honest.
He's looking to win a flag.
He's looking to win a flag. Collingwood won one last year. Carlton should have one with this list.
They are both.
We're probably in the best position out of all the clubs to win a flag out of the three down in the race.
Carlton are contenders next year.
I think you're hyping yourselves too far up because this happens every year.
No, I'm not saying we're going to win the flag. I'm saying we're closer to a flag than you guys are.
I would say it's tied.
I just don't trust Carlton.
Yeah. But if you look list wise and
On
the
paper,
position
yes. On
wise,
paper,
yes.
but in practice, it always looks way worse than it is because what happens every year?
Yeah, but you always speculate and look at paper before you get to the field.
Yeah,
But yeah, on paper, we have all of the last 3 years where you have a mid-season slide. Anyway, so Dan Houston probably going to the final day. Realistically, Port should just hold on to him.
I think it's what it's going to end up being. I don't think Port will be willing to give up what's been offered.
Now, there is 2 confirmed trades so far. It's been 6 hours in. Now, the first one was Alex Neil-Bullen to Adelaide. That was already pretty much well known. Good trade. They got their pick back. So the trade was now just Alex Neil-Bullen for Shane McAdam. Who wins that trade, guys?
I wonder who.
It's not Melbourne. No. And then the other one is, of course, the Avengers. Jack Darling and North. Pick 67's a bit rich.
Oh, he's probably worth that.
I would say, why did West Coast not let him walk?
Yeah, I don't know.
North probably just wants some experience, and then North are probably desperate.
No, but
This makes no sense.
Just let him go to the draft and then North pick him up.
That would be... Yeah, well, that's fair.
Because West Coast are using theirs from Liam Baker.
Yeah.
And Richmond are probably going to pick up a youngster through that because they're not anywhere near the contending window. So, anyway. Silly stuff there. And then the free agency stuff. So, big talking point. Josh Battle gets his move to Hawks for pick 8. No.
Not worth pick 8.
He's worth 10, I would say that.
He's worth the first rounder for sure.
Yeah, because let's be honest quickly. People are underrating Josh Battle. He's St Kilda's best defender. Second best.
He's underrated because he plays for St Kilda.
Yeah, Cal Wilkie's number 1, then Josh Battle.
Well, because he finished, third in their BNF. They didn't even mention him in the BNF.
Because they didn't invite him.
They didn't invite him. They told him not to rock him. And he came third in their BNF, and they didn't show any highlights from him.
Oh, I wonder why. Maybe because he already asked to leave. But
Yeah, but grow up.
Oh yeah, Andrew Bassat is a little crybaby.
We'll speak about him later.
Yeah, you know where he's coming. But yeah, no. So pick 8 is ridiculous, but I think people need to get in their head. Last year, Ben Mackay got pick 3.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, but not pick 3 good. His year beforehand was one of the worst years a key defender could have. So
3 is farcical.
yeah, so expect these high picks for players who are not anywhere near these picks.
It's just because of now, obviously Battle and mainly Ben doing it last year. It's inflated the price of what players are now.
It's also contract based.
Yeah, same. That's why Harry Perriman has gone for.
Yeah, for pick 16 to us. So good pickup for us. GWS are getting
Very
absolute,
good pickup.
Yeah, Giants getting absolutely. They're just getting a gold mine. They also got pick 21 for Isaac coming.
Will we get anything for Palin?
Well, he has to be a trade, I think.
Okay.
So
He's going to the Crows, isn't he?
yeah, he's elected Crows. So Giants gonna have a lot of picks to work with.
And they also lost probably one of their best players to Carlton, Nick Haynes.
He hasn't. He no.
They delisted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. No, he's
he's
very
not.
old.
Mate, you're
Old and
worried.
broken.
You're worried about injuries.
He's
this
not going
year.
to... I'd be surprised if he gets a game.
Nick Haynes breaking his leg the first game he plays for you.
They've got him just for how weird pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we're bringing him in. He'll be like a 1 or 2 year thing, and then I think they want him to go in a coaching role. He wants to go in a coaching role at Carlton. So I think there's some offer there.
We haven't mentioned the biggest signing.
Oh, sorry. The biggest one, the cockroach.
You can't kill him.
Tom Campbell
Oh.
gets his move to Melbourne.
He has to be the biggest list clogger to ever have
I love
exist.
Imagine having that life, play 15 years in the AFL and don't do shit.
And he's played, 26 games, I think he's played in his career?
He's played like 60. But in 15
He's played
years.
60.
In 15 years.
He's
Yeah.
still going around.
How is he getting a game? He got what 2 games this year?
Yeah,
He's got two
I already got
games
2 for...
He's
And
got 2 games in the last 3 years.
wasn't his like best game against Melbourne?
Yeah, he had that's why they probably picked him up.
Yeah.
He had a really good... Yes, it was, yes.
He's just going to play for Casey because Gorn will play all year.
Oh yeah.
And we'll get to
Oh
this
no,
again.
unless Gorn does his ankle again, because apparently it's pretty bad. His injury this
He
year,
does carry the whole club.
and he's also 34, whatever it
We
is.
do love Tom Campbell. He's a genuine list clogger and always has been.
He's a hero.
Yep.
But
And then,
there's one person who still hasn't been picked up, who we reckon we could see getting picked up, and that is Gary Rowan. And obviously got listed by Geelong. Still came out this week saying he wants to continue playing footy at AFL level. Do you see any club looking to pick him up?
well, realistically, if you're thinking of a person in this position, there's one club which would love some experience. North Melbourne. North Gary Rowan. Look at look,
Is there any other options? Like,
Yes, there's another option. There's Melbourne, who do need a good tall forward.
Gary Rowan's not a tall forward.
Gary Rowan.
But Gary Rowan's a competent forward.
No, he's not. Have you watched him the last couple of years?
To be honest, you guys could use him.
No. I'd rather play.
Gary Rowan's one good game in the last 3 years. That final against Collingwood when he won the game for Geelong.
Yeah. Well, what's his highlight last year? Knocking out Jeremy Cameron.
His highlight this year, getting 26 staples in his head.
Yeah. So,
He's correct.
look, North, he's there. He'll be cheap. He has lots of experience. He's won flags. You know, Clark will get him. Talking about North and experience, Luke Parker. We did talk about it beforehand. They're trying to figure out the compensation for Luke Parker.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, isn't how? So Luke Park would be what, 34, 33?
Nah,
No,
he's
he's
31.
31.
31. He's barely got in the team for most of the year. He played a lot of VFL. Obviously, we saw what he did in
hold
the
on.
VFL as well.
Yeah, so hold on. Most of the missing from this year is because of the fact he spent 6 weeks suspended in the VFL.
Yeah.
Knocked
Knocked
out.
No, it was Carlton.
No, it's Frankston.
You sure? Huh. But yeah, look, he probably may be worth if Darling's worth 67, he'd be in the 40s and for Parker.
Yeah. No, but to be fair, Darling played like every game this year.
Luke Park is still better. Have you watched Jack Darling play football?
Yeah, it's funny. Remember that game we got like 20 disposals and 2 goals this year?
Who? To be honest,
Darling. He had like a real good game.
he had one good game this
It
year.
was funny because he's like 33 years
Sydney,
old.
Sydney are probably thinking Parker's stocks are risen because he kicked 3 in the granny.
Yeah, but
3 junk time goals.
While playing full forward. It's like the fucking Beveridge decision to play fucking Bont full forward. They put Luke Parker to be the fucking Billy Frampton.
He's an inside midfielder. He's finished second in a Brownlow. Put him in the midfield.
Just horse, my head hurts.
And then we look at the 2 last trades we think will happen. Most likely will go. We've got Liam Baker and Jack Graham both on the West Coast. I think that's going to be sorted there. I think it's going to be a first rounder.
Well, it'll be...
So,
Well, Jack Graham can pretty much just leave for anything. So what's going to be the likely case is that West Coast will take a massive pay rise on Graham. And then most likely Graham goes through. And then Richmond will allow Liam Baker to walk. They had the first pick. West Coast is like third. So North could do a funny. But I think... So Liam Baker should be going for Lil Compo.
and then obviously West Coast will just lose Bryce to Hawthorn.
Yeah.
What's happening with Shea Bolton? Is he going?
Freo pretty firm
I
that
think
they
on
aren't
Freo
doing
I
it.
heard he didn't nominate him, but I think that's where the talks he was going to.
Freo today was saying that they probably wouldn't be able to do it unless they...
They'd have to trade a player
Yeah, and
who's decent.
well, no, because they have 3 first-round picks, and it's Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But I think the biggest issue for Freo is that I don't know if they know where John Longmuir sits going into next year. He's not got them. He's only got them one final where they won. And then they lost to us next week.
They choked horrendously this year.
Yeah, so next year is probably a bigger question around they want to keep the players because they don't know what coach they'll be in with next year. Now, there's one more set of news. For no one else other than Essendon and Brisbane fans, Joe Danaher's gone. Fly high.
On this Joe.
He won't be able to watch the game anymore on TV. He doesn't like it anyway, so...
Doesn't like TV, doesn't wear shoes,
Doesn't
just
like
lives
footy.
in Byron Bay.
You can blame the Essendon medical staff for making him hate footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And then we had one more retirement announced today too, and this one's really hit the heartstrings for me. Levi Casbolt, Carlton great, has retired up on the Gold Coast after being there. He was there for 4 years, 3 years.
Oh, it was a while.
He was there for a while. Probably one of the best marks I've ever seen play for years.
Yeah, no
He
goals.
couldn't drop a mark.
No goal scoring, though.
Oh no, if you put him 15 metres in front of goals, he would miss it. But you put him back from 50, he was like a guarantee.
So, what we're saying is he's a B-Tech Joe Danaher.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally
No,
retired.
but he can mark better than Danaher.
Yeah. Danaher's...
Casbolt had the cleanest hands I've ever seen.
How many games do you reckon Levi Casbolt played in the AFL?
Oh...
He played a fair few.
He
I already
wrote
played like
200.
He played 198.
How did that man get 148
How many did he
games?
play? He would have played like 140 for Carlton. Then.
154 games for Carlton.
That was when we were terrible and had no other forward option.
Well, what, you got rid of Jared Waite?
No, we didn't get rid of him. He wanted to leave. We had no choice.
Oh, I wonder why.
He went to
leave.
North
Yeah,
to go pick up with Drew Petrie.
yeah, actual good team at that time.
They were competent, yes.
They made it to the
To be honest, it
prelims.
didn't help when Brendan Favola did 2010 Brownlow, so we had to get rid of him. Still got him for about 3 more years, and then succession plan, but no. Pressure point.
God damn it.
Steven fucking Seagal.
Now, to the World's game. And unfortunately, it's not been a great time for our Australian coach, Ian. He's choked. He's on the Spurs. They Spurs it up real bad. After being 2-0 up by half-time, in 20 minutes, Brighton bring it back and they win 3-2. Tottenham lose, and it's not a great look for Ange Ball.
It's not, but we're not discrediting Brighton. Brighton are a very good team.
Oh,
They've
they
been
are.
very good all year. I think they've regained their form that they had 2 years ago. But I think a team with the quality of what Ange's team with the Spurs have, they should be doing a lot better. And it's a bit of a shock to the system for them.
The fact that Danny Welbeck is still alive and kicking, as well as he is and he was one to put it away for Brighton. Tottenham, they have the fastest defender in the world,
Mickey van der Ven.
and they can't mark a 34-year-old Danny Welbeck.
Let him cook.
It's unfortunate for Ange because it probably wasn't his fault in the end.
And to be, he's had some... I have a look at one of these players who's been in great form at the moment. Brennan Johnson has been on fire. He kicked 5 in his last 5 games, I believe.
I think it's 6 and 6.
6 and 6. From someone who the fans were brutally harassing him on social media for his poor performances.
We had to deactivate his account.
Yeah, he deactivated it and he's turned it around. Great player. He used to play in Nottingham Forest, so came from the right places. But look, he's actually shone, and then so has James Maddison. He's looking great there, but they just can't put it together. They're struggling to just find the little pieces, and Ange is still saying he's going to get a trophy this year for the Spurs, but it's looking a lot harder now than it ever has been.
What do you think of Tottenham?
Shit.
What do you think of shit?
Probably Man United right now.
Yeah, that's all right. To be honest, I think their best chance of winning a trophy, as much as I'd say, would be the Europa League.
Oh yeah, and they probably should win that.
They should.
It's
Somehow United will win that from just somehow barely getting through it.
Aren't you 21st in that thing right now?
Yeah, that's one game.
One game.
Oh, 2 games. Sorry, 2 games.
Well, yeah, we had
2 draws.
2 draws.
2 free
Points.
draws.
When
Points.
was the last time you won a game?
Long time ago.
No, we won. One of the cup games recently.
That
That was like 3 weeks ago, I reckon.
that was like a League One side.
When was the last time we beat a Premier League team? Who was it?
And an actual one, not a shit
A
one.
long time ago in 1984.
I was a young whippersnapper back then.
Oh no, it was the game at we were watching at my house. Southampton. It was our last win.
We can't win a game. It's good.
Please sack Ten Hag. I beg.
No,
I beg.
let him
no,
cook.
No, get rid of him.
Take
Bring in
out
Gareth
Anthony.
Southgate.
No.
Oh.
No.
Bring in Southgate.
No.
Why
No.
not? What's wrong with
I'd
Southgate?
rather have fucking Graham Arnold.
Just go for a good club, guys.
Shut up.
Bassat's got a hat-trick on his birthday! Not yet, Young beauty! Not.
What are you doing here? Oh, just listening to some Spotify, mate. Yeah, just listening to some tunes.
Now for what I think is the best sport to play, cricket is back. Local cricket returned to its first game this weekend. I got out to play. I got to have a game. We got rained out because the weather was shit. I just sat there and ran water. Well, I didn't have to bowl. It was great. It was lovely. But look, cricket's back, as well as we have the Women's T20 World Cup that has started, and Australia off to a bang. They knocked off Sri Lanka pretty comfortably. We had them 7 for 74, I believe, or 94. 93, and then we chased it 4 down. We did it very comfortably. Megan Shutt, she took 3 for something.
12.
I can't remember. 3 for 12 or 4 overs. Very good. But the star performance, I reckon, was Beth Mooney. She had 48 not out.
43.
Get a
See,
laptop.
yeah, this is why when we do a lot of research, we bring our computers to the recording.
Sorry, I mistakenly forgot my computer. But look, they had a great performance. Good start to the tournament. They've got, next up is New Zealand on Wednesday morning, so the results would already be out by the time this has been released. And then I believe we are playing Pakistan on Saturday morning. I think they're probably in shape to win it again. They're still probably the best team in the world. It's going to be us, India or England. in women's cricket, it's very much a like heavily.
Oh, what? It's the teams that have the most money to invest in their cricket teams.
India, India have nothing else to invest in besides cricket.
Yeah. No, they're quite rich in companies.
Yeah, but what are they invested to? 90% of the people in that country play cricket.
Oh, I thought I was going to say something worse.
But yes, look, we're excited. Cricket season's upon us, and I think we're in for a very good summer of cricket.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Now, we had the AFL Grand Final last week. This week, we had the NRL Grand Final. And look, it wasn't a bad game.
But it's on a Sunday, number one.
Yes.
Why? Number two, they couldn't even give a good result, like the score-wise.
Oh, it was a good game to watch.
But they bum sniff.
Yes, but I think the major talking point is they didn't sell at the stadium.
Oh.
There was still tickets on sale at 4 p.m. on the Sunday.
It's almost like rugby's a really unattractive sport to watch in person.
Who would have thought?
It's almost like when you don't have all of one part of Sydney. Like when you only have one part of Sydney represented when you have 6 teams from Sydney in one league.
No, they got more than 6.
That's worse. You have so many teams in Sydney that you can't physically sell a stadium.
It's just big, broody men just trying to hit each other with no brain cells.
And well, they're the cheapest the Kid Road concert tickets of all time.
Literally.
Yeah, what? You get tickets for like $100 on the Sunday?
Yeah. That's cheaper than these actual tour tickets.
Sounds exactly right.
I pay a lot more for a concert.
But look, it was a good game. Penrith end up winning their 4th premiership in a row, winning 14-6. Put in a really defensive masterclass and really just stopped any momentum that Storm had. Storm tried at times. They seemed to be a bit sloppy, dropping catches, fumbling balls, missing tackles. That really ended up hurting them in the end. And then I think the major thing they were missing Nelson Asofa Solomona. And obviously we know he got suspended for 4 weeks, what I still think is the wrong decision. But him not being a part of it really made a massive impact in the end result. But I think the biggest talking point to come out of the game, we'll talk about it later, was the uncalled try. But the bunker review, that was very much a try. And they can say it all they want. You can physically see it to the ground. But enough of that. We'll get to that later. But now that Penrith have won 4 premierships in a row, are they the most dominant, not franchise, team in the 21st century?
Like, we're talking all sports?
Just Australian sports or all sports?
Australian sports. Yeah.
You got Hawks.
You got the
Brisbane.
15 or Brisbane.
Or Richmond. You can do
Geelong maybe.
Geelong as well.
Because you look at it, they've made, they won 4 premierships in a row. They lost also in 2020, so they made 5 grand finals in a row.
Yeah.
I would just say that rugby is so prone to having one team dominate for a long period of time. Look at Storm beforehand.
You could count as the Australian cricket team in the mid-2000s. They didn't lose.
Or looking at dynasties and actual teams. Warriors, Golden State Warriors. Like, that dynasty is probably...
Yeah.
They were so dominant for such a period of time. The only time they could be beaten is when they had another super team playing against them. The Bonbon.
I think there's at least a conversation there with Penrith. The 4
in a row is pretty crazy.
like it's unheard of. It's unless you're like playing Ajax in the Eredivisie, but even that, or like Celtic.
You look at all the sport, like all the soccer leagues have their one team.
PSG are the best thing ever.
But I think rugby in Australia, so NRL, has very much got the same syndrome that most leagues do in soccer, like where there's a team that dominates every year.
Yeah, because the way, like, pretty much, if you look at NRL, like, there's players who say request a trade during the middle of the season, and like they're just stuck there on their team until then. They can just not play. They can just say, "Oh, I'm leaving at the end of the season," and just like announce it to the media. Like, that hurts clubs enough anyway, especially if you're down the bottom. Like, I think it happened to, I can't remember the player. He was on the low team, but you just said he's leaving. Would go to, like, not to Penrith, but he went to like Canterbury or something like that. Just made it unfair.
Yeah, no, the issue is it's just NRL. I also have another point that I haven't actually said yet. Is Allianz Arena, so the new stadium in Australia, is that the most pointless stadium of all time?
It was built for what, the Sydney
It's-
2000
it's-
Olympics.
I wouldn't say it's pointless just because it had great use originally for the Olympics.
Yeah, well, it's like 70,000.
So, but they've upgraded it recently. That's the more thing I'm on about. They've made it now a 70,000 seater stadium. They use it for Socceroos and Matildas games, which they might.
Well, they used it for the World Cup in 2023 for the final.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, they use it for the NRL Grand Final. Excuse me. They use it for a lot of concerts. They have a lot of concerts there.
Yeah, but as a sporting stadium, when NRL is never to sell it out, the one that's going to use it the most, outside of Sydney FC, who don't sell any games anymore, it's probably the biggest waste of investment in a long time.
I think I can think of one stadium that's worse, and that's what's the GWS stadium?
Oh, Giant Stadium.
Yeah, Giant Stadium. I think NG. I think NG beats it just easily, but for the amount of seats it holds, I think there's a bit of a it's an issue that they probably went too many. They didn't need the upgrade because it's almost like they're trying to compete with the MCG for who can seat more spectators.
They can only host sports with a rectangular playing field as well. Have you watched when career games used to get played there?
They play cricket games there.
Sydney Thunder used to play there.
Really?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Where do they play now? Actually, Sydney.
Where the Giants play.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Out there. But,
Well, they probably get more fans there.
It was horrible.
Mm.
Oh yes, they did used to play AFL there. They played. I remember who was it? Israel Folau played a game there. I remember that's stuck in my head for some reason.
No, because the Giants have to play 4 games a year, I think, back then.
Yeah, I remember. I think in the Sydney's play the big.
That'd be so narrow to play.
Remember
on
that Lewis Jetta goal against Collingwood? When he ran
Yeah,
the ground?
that was that.
Ah.
So you have to run like 30 meters anyway. So
Right, real close, and then they go.
No, it has to be the same distance. It has to be a bit there.
Oh, well, it's about 20 meters, max.
Okay, so 20 minutes. Bang. I'm literally going to put cement in my water bottle and go.
now, like every week, we have our favorite segment. It's Mel of the Week. It's the best segment around. In my opinion, anyway. Every week we have 5 people who are the biggest melons.
Yes, and so one list you don't want to make. We've seen some of the nominations this year. We've had some crackers. Do we think that they could possibly have one this week? But we'll see. But I think it's hard to beat Len Yeoman from last week.
Lame.
Straight to hell.
That was a good one.
That was phenomenal.
There's already been number 1 and 2 probably for the year. So
It's going to take something cooked to beat it.
Yes, correct.
now at number 5 this week, we're going to Western Kentucky. Now, college football has some funny moments. There's always like this week, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, the number 1 team in the country, losing to a SEC team who is awful. But Western Kentucky recently announced that they're going to be using a new helmet. Now, what do you reckon that helmet would be?
Don't know. I don't watch college football.
Maybe the gladiator, not the gladiator. What's the helmet? The special helmet they wear to protect them from CTE.
No, not
Guardian
the
helmet?
Guardian Halo. Yeah. No. So they've got their mascot on there, and the mascot's really weird. I would call it the grimace of the college football world. Now it's a red grimace. Now it's called Big Red. Now they've decided to put Big Red's eyes on the helmet, make it like look textured so it looks fluffy, and then announce that that's what we're wearing for the next game. Kentucky, why? Western Kentucky, why?
Oh,
It's so silly.
brain is hurting.
And you're a melon for that one.
That is very poor. But number 4, we've got the Kid Leroy. I think when it was announced that he was going to be performing in the NRL Grand Final, everyone was so excited.
It's
They're like,
it's a bit entertaining.
massive name. And then, especially seeing what Katy Perry pulled off in the AFL Grand Final, like, oh, the Kid Leroy's going to smash this out of the park. First of all, whoever was in charge of that smoke machine during the performance, you couldn't see him for 90% of the show.
There's parts where TVs are supposed to be able to see it. Like, it's supposed to be made for TV. Even in TV, people couldn't see Kid Leroy until like halfway through.
Like, what was the point of having him perform if you can't see him? And secondly, what is he doing performing Never Tear Us Apart? We're not at Adelaide Oval. This is not Port Adelaide. This is the NRL Grand Final. Stick to what you know best, Kid Leroy. You're a good musician. Stick to it. Don't go doing In Excess music. I like In Excess. That hurt watching that.
You should have sung Addison Rae.
Yeah. But look, it's just that could. My old man was telling me, was that the meatloaf of the NRL Grand Final?
No, because he otherwise was pretty good. Like his actual singing was good. It's just the set, everything was awful. He got stitched up by NRL.
But yeah, so after that performance, Kid Leroy, you're a melon.
Now, number 3. We were talking about this beforehand. Gold Coast have decided to enter in with us on our hostage negotiations with John Noble. Leper, if it was opposite for the Melon of the Week, Leper would be on there saying he somehow got Gold Coast to the table with what he was requesting. Gold Coast, what the fuck? You gotta get Dan Rioli. You've got to find a trade for Lukosius. Unless Rioli is getting traded for Lukosius' pick, which won't be that high, probably, from what I'm hearing. It's... Why? Why are you going to be going
They
to
do this every year.
You have such a waste of, like...
Remember a few years ago when they traded pick 7 for Jack Bowes?
That's right.
No, to get rid of Jack Bowes.
Yeah.
For a 3rd round pick.
Someone got pick 7 or some shit.
And Jack Bowes ended up being good for them. That's the issue.
They do this every year, Gold Coast.
Yeah, so...
Help themselves.
Probably back next year on this list, but at 3, Gold Coast. You are a melon.
And number 2, we're going back to the NRL. It's the NRL bunker. So if you didn't see in Sunday night in the grand final, there was a stage where Storm were down by 4 points with about 25 minutes to go. Had a run. I think it was Coates got through, tackled by about 4 blokes, goes into the try zone. Looks like it was a no try. The umpire, I can't remember his name, goes, no try. Alice got the bunker, just make sure. And then the angle we got, it clearly showed that the ball was hitting the ground, like 90% certain. The commentators, who also hate Storm, they were like, oh, it's a try. And everyone was like, oh, it's a try. Even the players were celebrating the try. And then it comes up on the screen, no try. I want to see what they're seeing in the bunker. Because we always give crap to the AFL score review of how stupid it is and Crypto.com advertising. But I think the bunker might beat it because that was woeful. Like, we got 1 or 2 angles on the TV and it clearly showed that the ball hit the ground or something hit the ground that looked like a ball. And I don't think there's anything else that's down there, that size, that can look like a ball. It clearly hits the ground. I don't see what they're seeing. Like, I don't understand it. So, the NRL bunker, you're a melon.
I reckon the room for NRL is just looking like bum. Just like bum.
I don't get it.
Bum.
And they're sponsored by KFC as well. So, they got a good sponsor for the bunker.
You know, Crypto.com's worth more than KFC.
Yeah, but like when they do the try, like if it's a try, they put the ball in the bucket. But if it's not a try, it like misses the bucket.
That's so sad. Now, number 1. Last week, so at the grand final, this person was apparently smoozing around with all the executives saying, "Where's our fair share?" It's Andrew Bassat, the St Kilda CEO. Now, okay, let's start off from the start.
What?
Yeah, he's the whinging St Kilda have done for the last 5 years is incredible. Oh, we don't have any father sons. It's not by the fact that your club doesn't keep many good players around for 100 games. Now, is that up to us to make sure that they all have sons? No. Can you choose who has father sons? No.
Can you choose if they're going to be good? No.
So, stop complaining. The AFL has the father son rule because it's one of the best things you have in the world. It's something which no other sport does from an actual rule standpoint. People might do it, but from a rule standpoint, the father-son rule is unique.
Yeah, and look, like there's been it's been a massive talking about just because you've had Nick Dacos come along. He was obviously father-son, and then you got both the Ashcroft brothers. Obviously Levi going number 1 or 2.
He's probably the best.
And then there was Levi and then Will. Will was drafted like 1 or 2, and then Levi's going to go 1 or 2. So look, they've got lucky there. They've hit a jackpot. But I think it's a great rule. And you forget St Kilda, you guys get the 4th most amount of money from the AFL for compensation. They get like 20 mil a year from the AFL to help them. They don't, like, it's not like the AFL don't help you. you get helped a lot.
It's St Kilda just whinge. And then Andrew Bassat goes out in his best and fairest, doesn't invite Josh Battle, which we mentioned beforehand. Like, just let him come, say goodbye to everyone properly. Like, because he basically just got told to do it in the group chat. I don't think outright he would just do it in the group chat. And then after all your whinging, you get pick 8. And now wait till someone else gets a really expensive pick. Wait for St Kilda fans to come back after getting someone else gets a higher pick than theirs, and they'll go, but we want our fair share. It's just the whingiest fucking.
They play the victim for the last 10 years. Like, it's not their fault. They put themselves in it. They had the chance to get Marcus Bontempelli back when he was in the draft, but they picked Jack Billings.
Oh, they're the worst drafters in the league.
Pick one's different, but Paddy McCartan over Petrarca, Brayshaw.
Oh,
They've had plenty of chances to set their club up to what they had in the early 2010s, but they haven't.
And then after all this, they've just gone and signed Max King till 2032.
Oh, that was so silly.
I don't get it.
St Kilda, you understand, right? King's had about 20 million injuries in his first, 5 years?
I think his best year was his first year.
And he's been very inconsistent since.
You're signing him to an 8-year deal. He hasn't played a full season his whole career. No. He probably won't ever again. He's injury prone.
Not a reliable kick.
Not a reliable kick. What? You're digging your own grave. When you're bad in 3 years because your best player is Jack Sinclair and he's gone, and Marshall will be on his last legs because he has to carry the club the whole way.
You can't sign anyone because no one wants to go there.
Don't come crying.
No, they will. They'll come crying. But look.
Yeah. Look, Andrew, you're a fucking melon.
Couldn't have said it better.
I can't stand his voice as well.
I was speaking to the executives. We're sick of being
whining prick.
They have won one flag in 130 years.
Should have won 2, but Stephen Mill couldn't judge the bounce. So that's it for another week of the Uneducated Nuffies. What episode? We've done a bit of a deep dive into all of it. But look, there's still plenty of sports come through the years. Trade period is going to be massive this week. A lot is still to happen. There's plenty of stuff going on.
Well, of course, it's sport. Sport's a year-long thing. NBA's restarting up now, boys.
Yes.
Pre-season's on.
Bronny and LeBron are together. They just played their first minutes together.
Actually, we need to go back on that. The Bronny overhyping is so silly.
How good's them posting a hole of them just being on the court together?
And he made his first layup in like a minute left in a blowout game.
Yeah, did you see the amount of highlights? He had 2 points.
Yeah, did you not see LeBron and Bronny combined for 19 points in today's game? LeBron had 19 of them.
ESPN's gone from Wemby Glaze to Bronny Glaze.
To be honest, it is cool seeing the first ever father-son duo, to be fair.
But Bronny's awful. He's just awful. I can't watch it because he's awful.
LeBron's the GOAT.
Yeah, but you do what LeBron wants. If you have LeBron on the team, I'll do what LeBron wants.
I do anything to LeBron.
You are right. That's enough.
Anyway, that's it for the week. As always, I'm John Tipero.
I'm Ethan Stone.
Stay Nuffin.